Most people will never be rich. Not because they're not smart enough or talented enough. Not because they weren't born in the right family or didn't get the best opportunities, but because they're trapped in a system that was never designed to make them free. It was built to make them obedient, comfortable, predictable. From the moment we're born, we're handed a script. Go to school, get good grades, find a stable job, work hard, save a little, retire if you're lucky. Sounds familiar? That script has been repeated so many times. It feels like truth. But here's the reality. It's a blueprint for mediocrity, a loop that keeps you working just enough to survive, but never enough to escape. And the saddest part? Most people don't even realize they're in a trap. They laugh at dreams, mock risk-takers, and worship weekends like it's freedom. But deep down, they feel it, that quiet frustration, that constant pressure, that voice whispering. Is this really it? The truth is brutal. Most people will never be rich because they've accepted a life that was handed to them, instead of creating one on their own terms. But it doesn't have to be that way. Ready to understand why? Comfort is the enemy of growth. We've been taught to chase it, to build a life around it. A steady paycheck, a fixed routine, a predictable future. But what if I told you that comfort is the very thing keeping you broke? See, the moment life gets comfortable, you stop reaching, you stop learning, you stop risking. And when you stop risking, you stop growing. That's where most people get stuck. In jobs they don't love, with expenses they can barely cover, living for Friday nights and dreading Monday mornings. Why? Because it's safe. Because it's what everyone else is doing. Because breaking out would mean facing the unknown, and the unknown is scary. But let me ask you something. When was the last time someone got rich playing it safe? The wealthy didn't get there by staying comfortable. They stepped into discomfort. They started businesses, made bold moves, invested when others hesitated. They failed over and over, but each failure taught them something. Each risk pushed them forward. Comfort is a warm blanket, but it also puts you to sleep. If you want to be rich, you have to wake up, you have to get uncomfortable, and you have to stop confusing safety with freedom. Because freedom isn't found in comfort. It's found on the other side of fear. School was never meant to make you rich. It was built during the industrial era, designed to produce workers, not thinkers, not creators, and definitely not entrepreneurs. From day one, you're taught to follow instructions, memorize answers, raise your hand to speak. You're graded on how well you conform, not how well you think for yourself. Did anyone teach you about money? About investing? About passive income, taxes, or compound interest? Of course not. But you learn how to solve for X, memorize historical dates, and write essays on topics you'd never use again. They taught you how to be an employee, not how to build wealth. The real lessons? They're outside the classroom. The rich read books school never signed. They seek mentors. They fail. They experiment. They don't wait for permission. They take responsibility for their education. And here's the catch. While you're busy collecting diplomas and chasing grades, they're collecting assets and chasing results. So no, school didn't fail you. It did exactly what it was designed to do. But if you want a different life, you need to unlearn what they taught and relearn what the rich already know. Your financial future depends on it. Most people are trained to be consumers, not creators. From the moment you wake up, you're bombarded with ads telling you what to buy, what to wear, what to drive, and how to live. And the message is always the same. If you want to feel successful, you need more stuff. So you buy the latest phone, the designer shoes, the luxury car you can barely afford. Not because you need them, but because you want to feel rich. But here's the irony. The more you try to look rich, the more broke you become. Because real wealth isn't loud. It doesn't scream through brand names or flex through debt. It grows quietly, through investments, through ownership, through discipline. The rich don't chase status. They chase assets. While most people spend their paychecks on things that lose value the moment they're bought, the wealthy put their money into things that grow. Businesses, real estate, stocks. It's not about being cheap. It's about being intentional. Ask yourself, are you buying freedom or are you buying distractions? Every dollar you spend is a vote for the life you want. And if all your money goes to looking successful, you'll never have the resources to actually become successful. Fear is the silent killer of dreams. Most people aren't broke because they lack opportunity. They're broke because they're afraid to take it, afraid to fail, afraid to lose, afraid of what others might think. So they stay where it feels safe, even if it's slowly draining their soul. But here's the truth. Staying where you are is the biggest risk of all. You can play it safe your whole life. Clock in, follow the rules, avoid mistakes, and still end up with regret. Because deep down, you knew you could have done more. You could have started that business, taken that leap, bet on yourself. We've been conditioned to see risk as something dangerous, but the rich see it differently. To them, risk is opportunity. It's movement. It's growth. Yes, you might fail. Yes, you might lose money. But you'll gain something far more valuable: wisdom, experience, resilience. And those are the building blocks of wealth. You can't grow inside your comfort zone. And you'll never be free if you're paralyzed by fear. The question isn't, what if I fail? It's, what if you never try? If there's one word that separates the rich from the rest, it's leverage. The wealthy don't work harder. They work smarter. They understand a simple truth. Your time alone is limited. You can't scale yourself. But you can scale your impact, your money, and your results if you use leverage. Leverage is using other people's time, skills, money, and systems to create value without being the one who does everything. Think about it. A business owner doesn't do all the work. They build a team. An investor doesn't trade hours for dollars. They let their money earn while they sleep. An author writes one book and it gets sold thousands of times. That's leverage. Meanwhile, most people are stuck trading time for money. A 9-to-5 job pays you only when you show up. No time, no income. That's not freedom. That's a trap. The rich build systems. They delegate. They automate. They invest because they know that wealth isn't built by working more. It's built by multiplying your efforts through others. Want to change your financial future? Stop thinking like a laborer. Start thinking like a builder. You become who you surround yourself with. If you spend time with 5 broke people, chances are you'll be the 6th. Not because you're lazy or unmotivated, but because your environment shapes your standards, your mindset, your expectations of what's possible. Most people are stuck because everyone around them is stuck too. Their friends settle for average. Their family fears change. Their co-workers complain about Mondays and celebrate the weekend like it's the only escape. But here's what the rich understand. Proximity is power. They choose their circle with intention. They seek out mentors. They build relationships with people who think bigger, act bolder, and expect more, not to impress them, but to grow with them. When your circle talks about ideas instead of gossip, when they push you instead of pacify you, when they challenge your excuses instead of comforting them, everything changes. Your income, your habits, your confidence, your future. So if you want to be rich, you might need to leave behind the people who are okay being poor in mindset, in ambition, in energy, because growth requires sacrifice. And sometimes the first thing you need to let go of is who you used to hang out with. You weren't born to be average. You were trained to be. From childhood, you were handed a script: go to school, get a job, stay safe, retire late. But that script wasn't written for your freedom. It was written for your obedience. And if you want to be rich, truly rich in time, money, and purpose, you need to tear that script apart and write a new one. One where you're the author. One where you stop living by default and start living by design. That starts with mindset. Because wealth doesn't begin in your wallet. It begins in your thoughts. What you believe about money, risk, work, and self-worth will shape every financial decision you make. So you need to question everything. Who told you money was evil? That success was selfish? That failure was final? Who said you weren't meant for more? They lied. And it's time to stop repeating their story. From now on, you build, you create, you invest, you take responsibility. Not because it's easy, but because your future depends on it. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing greatness. You stop spending like a consumer and start thinking like a creator. You stop waiting for the system to take care of you and you take control. The difference between rich and poor isn't luck. It's mindset, it's action, and it's courage. So what's it going to be? Keep living by the old script? Or start writing the life you were meant to live? If this video hit you in any way, good. It means you're awake. You're not like most people. You're done accepting a life that was handed to you and ready to build one on your terms. So here's your next move. Don't let this just be motivation. Let it be momentum. Go back, rewatch the part that hit hardest. Take notes, reflect, and most importantly, act. Start that side hustle. Read that finance book. Have that uncomfortable conversation. Change your environment, your habits, your mindset. And if you want more videos like this, if you're serious about building wealth, shifting your beliefs, and taking full control of your financial future, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because this isn't just a channel, it's a movement, and you're part of it now. Let's rewrite the script together